Hello everyone, welcome back to Science with Miss Wynn. So this week we've talked a lot about our bodies of water. We know that we have a pond, a lake, an ocean, and rivers. So today we're going to talk about how rocks change based on the bodies of water, primarily a river. So we're going to talk about weathering and erosion of rocks. So how do rocks change their shape? Rocks change their shape because of water and wind. So water moves the rocks and it also breaks them down into smaller pieces. I know that a lot of us use a bath bomb to see how water changed the bath bomb. So if you think about a bath bomb, when you put it in the water, it starts to break down into smaller pieces. That's exactly what happens to the rock. Because it's in the water and the water is moving, it's starting to break down into smaller and smaller pieces. Rocks also change shape because of the wind. Wind makes the rock over a long period of time break down into smaller pieces. So, we're going to look at what a rock looks like before it is weathered. So, before weathering happens, or the breaking down of the rock has very sharp edges. It's not very smooth. You can kind of see here how it has some points. It's not, if you were to touch it, it would feel rough. So it's not smooth at all. After the rock is exposed to wind or moving water, such as moving through a river, the rock becomes very smooth. So you could see how if you were to touch this, it would be nice and soft. It doesn't have any rough edges, just like this picture. It's all rough and sharp and pointy. This has rounded corners. It's nice and smooth, and it would be easy to touch. So the reason this happens is because rocks are exposed to wind and water. So if it's in a river, say your rock is in a river like it's shown here, your rock would have the moving water going through it. So that makes it break down and become a lot less sharp and more smooth. And there's also wind. Wind does the same thing. It kind of takes off the sharp edges and makes the rock nice and smooth. So an example of erosion of a rock, so moving the rocks from one place to another, is through moving down a river. The river, or the water, takes the rocks that are on the high point of the earth and brings them to a lower point. So they're moving throughout the earth, which also changes their shape. So they're not always staying from where they were first created and when they first started, but rather they're moving. And remember, erosion is the movement of rocks, soil, dirt from one point of the earth to another. So rocks are able to change their shape based on wind and because of water. And rocks experience erosion because they are able to move when they are in water, such as a river, from one point of the earth to another point of the earth. You can also see this at the beach, where the little sand pebbles are moving from out of the water to in the water when a wave comes. This is also weathering because the little sand rocks are getting moved from water and making them softer, so they're not as hard. And then it's also erosion because the sand is moving from one part of the beach to another. So tomorrow we are going to talk about more of how the earth changes its shape. Thank you for joining, and I look forward to seeing you then. Bye!